On today's episode of the Cryptoverse, Bitcoin posts some record-breaking stats, an update on IOTA's 500% price increase, and how CryptoKitties, the takeover of the Ethereum network, could have been avoided. All of that on today's episode of the Cryptoverse, so stay right there. Hi there guys, welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse, your regular dose of news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and blockchains. I'm your host, Chris Coney. Story 1 for today. Bitcoin breaks loads of records, put it that way. First of all, disclaimer, I hold 22% of my portfolio in Bitcoin. So just bear that in mind as we go here. So Bitcoin goes up 2,000% in a single day. I think that's a first. If you use the Coinigy measuring tool and do this, it's almost a $2,000 gain in a day. Now that represents less and less of the overall price of Bitcoin because of the price, right? So a $10,000 Bitcoin only needs to go up 10% to gain $1,000, right? And $1 million Bitcoin only needs to go up by a fraction of a percent to gain $10,000. You know what I'm saying? So the price has almost tripled in 30 days. If we go right back here to, say, the 12th of November, when it was around about, it hit $5,380, and it's almost tripled at today's all-time high of, what was today's all-time high? $14,689. Absolutely bonkers. Meanwhile, over in the Bitcoin mempool, which is the list of unconfirmed Bitcoin transactions, I look at btc.com, which is a mining pool that gives some great stats. Down here in its network status box, I look at this, which is the count of unconfirmed transactions. The count isn't so much as important as the size of those transactions in terms of file size. 140 megabytes of transactions are waiting to be confirmed on the Bitcoin network. And remember, we can only process about 1 megabyte of transactions every 10 minutes. That's bonkers. So, because of this, companies like Steam, that's S-T-E-A-M, the Steam gaming platform, have decided to drop Bitcoin as a payment method. This is an article on CoinDesk that says Steam drops Bitcoin payments, citing high fees and price volatility. Bugger. So it says here, in April of 2016, the game company that operates the Steam gaming network, Valve, confirmed a long-rumored move by accepting Bitcoin through a partnership with BitPay. However, sometimes their customers are paying $20 transaction fee, which on a $40 or $50 game makes no friggin' sense whatsoever. And if you're waiting like a day or even several hours for it to confirm, you don't want to wait a day to play the game, do you? Right? We're used to credit cards where you go boom, 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 check out, done, digital download, let's do it. So as a result of the high fees, the volatility, and the slow transactions, they've said that it's become untenable for Steam to continue accepting Bitcoin as payment for the games. That's a tragedy, because they thought, Steam gamers, they're probably tech savvy, and they also thought that, well, what about countries that don't have credit cards? They want to play games too, so why don't we accept Bitcoin? But completely untenable. I say one of the best things about Dash is that it operates like a business, right? Well, I would not at all be surprised if the business development guys over at Dash capitalize on this news, contact Valve in an effort to convince them to switch to Dash, and then all the virtues of, very low fees, very fast transactions, and all the rest of it. You may have even noticed that yesterday I tweeted out that Dash had been added to Uphold, creating yet another direct gateway from fiat currencies directly into Dash, meaning less and less now do you have to buy Bitcoin in order to convert it into Dash. Disclaimer, I hold 36% of my portfolio in Dash. So back to Bitcoin then. The danger here is that Bitcoin's price is going up at the exact same time that adoption is moving backwards. That's not sustainable, because then there really is nothing but speculation supporting the price. I mean, watch this video from the Crypto Investor YouTube channel. This came out 2 days ago. In this video, he cites research from this Paulo Santos fellow on seekingalpha.com. And he suggests that only a tiny, tiny fraction of Bitcoin transactions are actually being used for commerce. So that 140 megabytes of transactions that are waiting to be confirmed on the Bitcoin network, most of those will be people moving Bitcoin in and out of exchanges to trade it. And look, I get it. No one wants to hear this because it threatens the massive paper gains that we've experienced with Bitcoin. But denial of reality is a sign of emotional immaturity. If we spend our lives running from reality and avoiding it, then we never give ourselves the opportunity to engage with it. And until we engage with the world in the way that it actually works, rather than how we want it to work, then we have no power or control over our own lives. Or at least we're not exercising the power and control over our own lives. So let's move on to the update on IOTA. So it turns out there was some specific news that caused IOTA to go up from like $1 to $5.50 at the high. You can see it's pulling back now to like $3.20. Now, while the news didn't come up in the search that I did of all my RSS feeds, I never worry too much about that because I have over 6,000 people per day watching the show, so I know if I miss something, I can always count on the community to fill me in. And that's what I love about doing these videos. I especially love how kind and supportive people are when they inform me of something that I've missed. It's always done with positivity and optimism, and it always causes me to just pause for a second and appreciate the quality of character that we have in the crypto community. You know, it's always nice to see so many people are in touch with their inner child. So thank you very much for that. Now, the news basically was that IOTA is going to be working with Microsoft, Fujitsu, and a few other companies on building a market for buying and selling data. This is perfect for IOTA since it's designed for the Internet of Things, which will be like a massive sharing economy. Well, they'll be sharing massive amounts of data between an almost unimaginable number of smart devices. So the Tangle technology being selected for that by Microsoft, Fujitsu, and the others, that's kind of serious validation for their technology. And then the third story for today, I want to do a couple of updates on CryptoKitties. So another disclaimer, I hold 4% of my crypto portfolio in EOS tokens. So bear that in mind as I go forward here. Now, it didn't take long, as it doesn't take long for anything in the crypto space, it seems. It didn't take long for someone to build a site curating metrics on the CryptoKitty game. So if you want to keep track of the most valuable CryptoKitties and perhaps try and spot what common traits make kitties most valuable, this would be the place to begin that analysis. I mean, that's the first thing I would do. I'm like, okay, if these kitties here at the top are selling for, $106,000, I would curate like the top 100 or something, or top 10, and figure out what's common amongst these that makes them desirable. Is it blue traits? Is it long whiskers? What is it, right? And try and narrow down the 80-20 to what really makes it valuable, then go and buy, kitties with those traits, because then you're erring on the side of probability that the kitty is going to be worth money based on historical trends, right? Also, further to what I said yesterday about this being a perfect example of how I think adoption of EOS will catch up with, overtake, and then dwarf Ethereum, check out this post from the Steemit core team. So it's actually posted on Steemit, believe it or not. In this article, they state that Ethereum, the network, is currently at 100% capacity. also with a backlog of unconfirmed transactions to boot. It then links out to blocktivity.info, a site that suggests that market cap is not what we should be looking at in terms of a blockchain's value. What we should be looking at is how much the blockchain is actually being used by real users. And when you look at the Cryptoverse from this perspective, this is what you see. Disclaimer, I hold 3% of my crypto portfolio in Steam. Now, the Steam blockchain is the most used blockchain, with a 7-day average of 822,000 transactions per day, versus Ethereum's 756,000 transactions per day. Where it gets really interesting is when you look at how much of the total processing capacity of that network is being consumed. So those 756,000 Ethereum transactions on average per day are completely maxing out the network beyond 100% capacity. The CUI number here is actually is displaying an error, right? Because not only is it 100%, it also has a backlog of 23,000 transactions at this moment in time. Those 822,000 transactions per day on the Steam network, however, account for 0.33% of the total processing capacity. Yes, you heard me, less than 1/3 of 1%. That means if CryptoKitties had been built on the Steam blockchain, the growth would have been exponentially greater than it has been already. This kind of processing capacity is possible because of the graphene blockchain technology that Steam is built on. And EOS is an even more advanced version of this technology, which will give it a processing capacity that even dwarfs that of Steam. So EOS is due to launch the 1st of June 2018. So strap yourselves in. Alright, thanks very much for joining me today, guys. If you liked this episode, go ahead and hit that like button. And if you're new around here, get subscribed. And if you would like access to my very best material, such as my structured online courses, head over to my website, cryptoversity.com, click on courses, and you can take any one of these step-by-step online courses that I've made for your educational delight. Alright guys, that is all for today. I'll be back tomorrow with another episode of the Cryptoverse. So until then, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.